G'day guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be doing my tips for round 2 of the season and it's getting very interesting early days. It's currently sitting 6th on the table, so it's good that I'm around the mark. I'm sure there'll be a fair few on 9 and looked like the average was just over 5 leading into 6, which I got for the round. What happened? It was a decent round 1, definitely from a football perspective. Guess we'll go through the I suppose other items. Collingwood, I guess with the win-loss that they've had against Adelaide, especially the MCG. I think 2009 was the last time the Crows won at the MCG, possibly when Tex made his debut. 2014 would have been the last time, is what they said. Port Adelaide, again, traditionally have a good record over North, whether it's at Marvel or not. And yeah, the Saints just weren't good enough for the D's in the end. The D's know how to get the job done over the Saints in recent times, or at least be pretty competitive and not lose the game due to a 6-6-6. But anyway, tough week of footy coming right up. We've got Hawthorn and Sydney to start us off, which will be the Thursday night game. And yeah, Sydney have a few big outs. Both Heaney and Goulden out of action, which, makes for a very interesting game, that's for sure. Hawthorn, pretty big winners over the Bombers, as expected. And Sydney, they had an undermanned Brisbane side, which they took care of pretty early on and just sort of, held them at arm's length for the last 3 quarters in pretty boring game in the end. But anyway, the Hawks will be looking pretty ominous. They defeated the Swans at the SCG last year. I'm going to go with the Hawks by 13 points. I think, that it's a game of small margins when you have 2 of your best players out, and we know how much footy Goulden missed last year and how much Sydney missed him. And when he was back in, I think they won 8 out of 11 or something like that. So he's just such a massive difference. Hawthorn, potentially top 4 side again. Leading into this season and by season's end, if everything goes right for them, I think they'll be getting the job done in a very tight one. Over to the Friday night game, we've got Adelaide up against the Western Bulldogs. So the Crows had a good win over the Pies, as mentioned just before. First win over the Pies at the MCG since 2014, 2015 sort of areas. And the Western Bulldogs starting off the season very nicely with 2 wins in a row and absolutely tore the Giants apart as they've been doing. Really tough game to pick. I'm going to go with the Dogs on this occasion. They've played some good footy at Adelaide Oval in the past, and if they keep up their current form, I think their system's standing up really well at the moment. And look, I've gone against Adelaide twice here, and maybe I've had them a bit lower on my ladder than potentially what was expected. I think, if any team's going to give them a bit of trouble and a bit of grief at Adelaide Oval, and they're not going to win all their games at home, I think the Dogs will give them a good showing and just scrape home with the win, I think. Over to the MCG, and we've got the Tigers there up against the Gold Coast Suns. Richmond just went down to the Blue Baggers in a 4-point game. Not a very particularly appealing game, but it happened. Both teams endured it. They wouldn't have enjoyed it. The Gold Coast Suns, again, kind of like the Swans and the Dogs, starting off really hot, looking really good. Gold Coast, for me, will win relatively comfortably, although, I'd expect the Tigers to give a decent showing here. I think Gold Coast will be too strong, though. Over to NG Stadium, and we've got GWS up against St Kilda. The Giants got their pants pulled down last week by the Western Bulldogs, who, absolutely tore him a new one. 81 points, if I didn't mention already. Saints 0-2 at the moment. Not a great start to the season for them, and they would like to be doing better, that's for sure. I was really wanting to give the Saints a chance here, and I'll say that. I'm thinking of the last couple of times, or at least 2 of the last 3, where I think it was a point of difference at might have been NG or another grand GWS player. I can't think of where it is, though. Might be Monica Oval, potentially. And then I think, it was Toby Green heroics late that sort of got them over the line. late last year when they were just trying to get into top 4. So, look, this is going to be a pretty close one. I'll just have to go the Giants off the back of, a pretty disappointing result. They generally respond pretty well to that kind of stuff. And I think, they'll be able to make amends. They're pretty tough to beat at home. I expect the Saints to take them down the wire yet again with the Giants getting the win. It is one of those almost 50-50 games, though. We go to Saturday night, and what an intriguing clash we have here. We've got Fremantle up against the D's. Freo had everything on their terms the first half almost. Down the highway at the Cattery, scored 8 goals in the first term and weren't able to go on with it. They lost by 10 points in the end. Melbourne, under Stephen King, looking really fresh first up. Very, very slick with their ball movement. Managed to land 120 points on the board and looked really good against the Saints. I have to go Fremantle at home. They did a lot right in the Cats game, which I've reviewed. They did, a lot right, but just didn't quite go their way late with Geelong's pressure ramping up, and they just couldn't quite nullify the damage that Geelong were able to sort of, I suppose, put onto the Dockers across that second half. But Freo to get the win should be close, though. I think, if Melbourne's recent form is anything to go by. Last 2 games of the round, we've got a few buys coming up, as we can see here. We've got Port Adelaide, and they have Essendon. This one will be at Adelaide Oval. Port got defeated by North Melbourne. I think it was about 44 points in the end. Bombers had a big loss first up. I think it was about 10 goals against the Hawks. But, I mean, we can't overreact too much after one round. I mean, Geelong went down to the Gold Coast by 10 goals, which is almost an annual event, really. So, we're not going to really know how teams really are for about another 6 to 8 weeks, really, to see where they're fully at. Need a bit of form on to work with. It's at home. Port Adelaide, better side. I feel like, Port probably in that 3 to 5 goal margin. Then the final game of the round, we've got West Coast and North Melbourne. West Coast, they got the Geelong treatment up on the Gold Coast, where Gold Coast took them to the sword, really, especially early on in the game, and then sort of, parked the bus a little bit again that final term. North Melbourne, really promising start for them. They were 7-goal winners over Port Adelaide, just mentioned before. I'm going to be going towards North Melbourne here, maybe to end Kingy's drinking drought. So Kingy's back on the beers once, North win 2 in a row. So he's hoping Kingy can get back on a few beverages after getting the job done there. But look, it won't be a walk in the park. North are going to have to play their best footy and do everything right. Just don't think the Eagles are quite up to it yet, and still, long way away from being, super competitive amongst the teams in the competition. All right, let's have a look. So I've gone Hawthorn by 13. Gone the Dogs in a little bit of an upset, as we can see there. It's very much 50-50. Gold Coast and GWS to get the job done. Fremantle, Port Adelaide and North to get the chocolates for the weekend. As we can see, we've got Brisbane, Carlton, Collingwood and Geelong have got the bye after playing opening round. So that's where that lands. I'm not sure what it looks like for round 3. There might be some more. The other four teams there finishing up the byes that will be eventuating shortly. All right, that's all from me, folks. I hope you enjoyed, and comment your tips for this week. Comment any upsets that you've got on your radar as well. Very excited to see that. Give the video a like and subscribe away so you can see how I'm going on the tipping front each week and how you're tracking comparing to me and some other crew in the tipping competition. That's it from me. Thanks heaps for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it. Have a good one, and I'll catch you on the next video.